no one's safe, right? That was the whole thing we wanted to, right? No one's safe, no one's safe. Right to the last minute of the movie, right? You're like, how's this gonna end? Because you feel kind of for both of them, right? She's no angel, right? She hammers a dude's face in with a conch shell. So you're like, you're a little bit of a psychopath too. So both these kind of toxic psychopaths are on this island and they're both fighting for something, right? He's fighting for freedom, she's fighting for family. And you sort of go, okay, I don't know how this is gonna end up, right? We really want to create that vibe where no one was safe.
Well, I really want to hear a little bit about you growing up in the Cayman Islands and how pirate lore, surrounded you growing up, and the big difference it is, maybe coming from, I'm from Los Angeles. I know what I've been exposed to, but you kind of grew up in the midst of all of this.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, thank you for that, and thank you for the kind words and for feeling the vibe that we were trying to put out there. So yeah, I'm from the Cayman Islands, and that's where the story takes place. And so, for me, we had, some people would get ready for Halloween, but meh. Pirates Week, that was our thing, right? The whole island came out for Pirates Week. So we'd dress up, even as little children, and we'd watch this crazy festival that the government's been doing for like 50 years, and you'd have these boats come in, they'd have pyrotechnics and sword fights and all this, and you're a kid, you don't know what's real and what's not, and so I have these like real core memories of these pirate invasions, even though they were cosplay, and what's crazy about Pirates Week is the pirates win. So they invade the island for a week, hence Pirates Week. So I'd be there and I'm like, oh my gosh, the pirates are off the ship and their machetes are scraping on the ground, and and every once in a while a pirate would throw you like a candy or something. You're like, okay, they kill some locals, but not a bad guy. And and so really was infused with that. And then as I got older, I heard this story. Is it true? I don't know. But my great uncle got shot in the knee by Blackbeard over a card game. And so you grow up with these tenets like sticking in your head, and so here we are making a pirate movie.
Well, pirates, you have Pirates of the Caribbean, and everybody thinks that, pirates are these, jolly guys that, for the most part. But I had a book growing up that was literally about pirates, and I read about, like, Blackbeard and Bluebeard and all these things. So what was really fun for me in watching even Karl's portrayal of it, I was like I didn't see Karl Urban. I saw Captain Connor.
Yes.
Like, talk to me about choosing him to play, the captain, and what it was like seeing him transform into that.
Oh, well, first of all, Karl Urban is one of the most incredible actors of our generation, and he's got swagger, which is like, you either have it or you don't, right? And there's a lot of great actors, but they don't have that swag, Karl got that swag, and for me, like, part of this movie was a little bit of a gangster movie. I grew up watching New Jack City and shit, right? So I'm like, I really wanted that kind of energy, and so having Karl come on, and then, if you think about what a pirate ship is, right? A pirate ship is a collection of the best killers from ports all around the world. So who can lead that? You need someone who's got charisma. You need someone who's a war machine, right? So if it pops off, nobody can challenge him. And so what was so great about constructing this character with Karl is, Karl's one of those actors who goes deep. He's gonna prepare, and he's never gonna let Karl Urban get in the way of a great performance. So he sheds all of that. And then we really thoughtfully went through everything from the accent to the wardrobe. We're like, did he kill a guy to get this coat? Or was he an officer at the East India Company? Where'd this sword come from? Where'd that gun come from? So we would really like tear apart every single piece till we got the most interesting soup that became Captain Connor.
When he spoke in that pirate sort of accent, I mean, what is it, a pirate accent? Is there like an official name for that sort of accent? Like, but when he started speaking, like, I was like totally in it. And I saw him at the premiere, and he was talking about working with the dialect coach.
Absolutely.
And then actually working with the dialogue. I understand that you and your partner, screen partner, really dove into the history and the writing, and in order to get that sort of dialect correct in the script.
Absolutely.
Can you talk to me a little bit about that? Because I am fascinated in hearing this.
Yeah, so my writing partner, Joe Ballerini, is one of my best friends from film school. We were down in Cayman Islands, where I'm from, and we went into like the National Archive, and we would go through these letters And some of them were talking about pirate attacks. Some of them were just, fishwives writing to their husbands. But we got the vernacular of the time. And also, when Karl came on board, he started reading these trial transcripts, which it's funny. If you think about life, the way you write an email is not always the way you speak, right? But you get a trial transcript and you're reading someone translating. So Karl brought it to a whole other level because he went and found all these Rhode Island pirate transcripts. And so he started actually breaking down, and okay, so that was maybe too formal, and this is how they talked. And again, these were gangsters, right? So there was this kind of street slang and the swagger to it. And then he went, it's called received pronunciation, RP is the type of thing. But, him and his coach, they found this like obscure little place in Ireland where which was notorious for growing these like strong mariners who became pirates. And so we locked in on that. And that was a lot of what led to the Captain Connor vibe.
Wow. I want to talk about Priyanka because, she is just delicious in this role. She's also an executive producer. So I'd like to know, with working with her not only in the starring role, but also as an EP, how fun was it to watch her kind of switch those different hats in between?
Well, first of all, Priyanka is an amazing human being, but like an incredibly hardworking, thoughtful producer, creative partner, performer, mother. You see her and Nick with the kid and you're just like, oh my gosh, baby Malti, and you're just like, oh, this is so beautiful. So the fact that she had all those dials that we could, especially as a director, that you can pull from, you watch her Bollywood work and there's a range of characters that are insane. I don't know anyone with that spectrum of work, right? And then you get into the Hollywood stuff and the action. And so, we were able to kind of put all that and blend it. And she had this extra level of ownership being a producer as well in terms of making sure that I had everything I needed to bring the vision forward. And, she didn't just buy into, okay, this is the character, this is what we're doing, but this is what we're doing on a grander scale, right? The authenticity, the style, the visceral level, to have all the tools and to have the Russos, and it was just what an incredible, incredible ride it's been.
But also your screenplay, the story, I don't know, I'm not gonna try to give anything away, but there is a moment in the movie where TH is on the ground, and I sat there watching it going, this is... And it goes, it went there, and it broke my heart. Like that, the look on Priyanka's face, and literally, I heard myself do an audible gasp. Like I wasn't expecting to be taken emotionally there. That's
right?
Pretty brilliant.
No, the movie goes there, and no one's safe, right? That was the whole thing we wanted to, right? No one's safe, right to the last minute of the movie. Right, you're like, how's this gonna end? Because you feel kind of for both of them, right? She's no angel, right? She hammers a dude's face in with a conch shell. So you're like, you're a little bit of a psychopath too. So both these kind of toxic psychopaths are on this island and they're both fighting for something, right? He's fighting for freedom, she's fighting for family. And you sort of go, okay, I don't know how this is gonna end up, right? We really want to create that vibe where no one was safe. And people have to watch to the end to see how it all shakes out. But that was very intentional right from the beginning.
I also have to give you kudos to writing such layered, strong female characters, not only in Priyanka's, but also in Elizabeth. Can you talk to me a little bit about how important it was for audiences to see that portrayed on screen? Because this is not a damsel in distress movie.
At all. And it's also not some like woman empowerment superhero fantasy movie, right? It's grounded in authenticity. I was raised by a strong Caribbean mom. We had the Saldana sisters, Zoe, Mario, and Cicely on as producers right from the beginning as well, who infused that like true Caribbean like nature and mama bear thing. But when you look in the archives, the men went off to sea to make money and to think. The women stayed behind. They built the society. They protected the place from hurricanes, from pirate attacks. And so this really is just honoring that truth. And then you think, all right, if a woman, because there were female pirates and female captains, and you go, what does it take for a woman to rise through the ranks of commanding a ship of the best killers from all around the world? She's gotta be tactical, she's gotta be thoughtful, she's gotta be manipulative, and she's gotta fight dirty. And that just drove the whole vibe of the Bluff.